Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the part 15 of the Danish Deception. So if you've not seen the part 1 up to the part 14, I want to encourage you to go back, start from the part 1. I think by now I should have made a playlist. So go to the playlist, start from the beginning. It's very, very important that you start it from the beginning. So let's kick start.
The Danish Deception, Part 15. So before I dive back into the series, there's a few things I wanted to say. The first being that I am giving you guys majority of bad, and there was a lot of good times in our relationship. I would say I was happy 90% of the time, despite the financial struggles that we were going through. And he was what I thought was a very selfless and caring individual. And the other people in my life would also attest to that. There were a lot of times that he did not have money in his account, but when he did, he was very, very generous with it. He was the type of person that would buy whatever people need, would treat them, and I viewed him as selfless. He also was the type of person that would drop anything at any time to help someone in need. So because of those reasons, I truly believed he was a good quality human. I now know that a lot of those things were self-serving, but I wanted to make a note of that so that you guys didn't think it was just like all bad and all like money.
You know how there's this thing in my country, I don't know how to say, but of course, everybody could relate to it. When a rat bites you and then blows air, so that to suit you, bite, blow, so that you will not shout or scream out of pain. This is just what I'm getting from this because he knows that he needs to hit her, so but he like to cushion it, make her feel good, so that before he now applies, you know, his bad side. So oftentimes she will not see it, she will overlook it because oh he's good 90% of the time. So this 10%, let me just overlook it. That's exactly what he's doing.
Exchange every single day. It was not like that at all. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the comments. Obviously, I've gotten some negative ones and some positive ones. I want to speak on the positive ones first. Thank you so much. I did not expect to be receiving this much empathy and compassion, and I just want to say thank you. It means the world to me. So thank you so much. And I wanted to speak on the negative ones as well. Obviously, you know, I made some choices that I deeply, deeply regret. I wouldn't be doing this series if that was not the case. And there's not a single comment that's worse than anything that I have told myself already. Listen, I was a black woman on The Bachelor. I have a thick skin for that reason. So these messages and these comments that are negative, it doesn't faze me at all. Honestly, I couldn't care less. I am prioritizing protecting others over my own self-preservation, and I will never regret that. But what does bother me is there are other victims that are reading these comments and they are feeling like they need to keep silent because they're worried about how other people will perceive them. And when you silence other victims, you are now giving the power back to the predators, and that is what I'm not okay with. So I challenge the people that are making the negative comments to reflect on what you're saying and to make sure we're all keeping the big picture in mind. We are trying to make sure victims can stand up and find their voice, and we can prevent this from happening to other people. That's all. Okay, I know, enough talking. Let's get back to the series. So Crypto tells me he's going to hire a PI to look into my ex. I was 100% on board with this. I did not tell my ex this was being done. So those few days where I was waiting for the results, I remember just being so nervous. I'm like, I don't even know what's going to come up. Like, I feel like, do I even know this man? And so after a couple days, Crypto sends me a text and he says, okay, here are the preliminary findings. The first thing was that there was no criminal history found whatsoever. So that made me feel a little bit good because I was like, okay, maybe this situation with Crypto is kind of like an isolated incident and it's not like as bad as I think it is. Like, he didn't like con like a ton of people in Denmark. And then the big thing that he found was that my ex did not go to the Olympics, not once and not twice. And when I found this out,
But are you guys surprised? I'm not surprised when he said he gave his mom one of the medals and he gave the other one to charity. Charity, your Olympic medal, charity. When I heard that, like, huh, I did not believe it. Me as a, I didn't want to be, a bad person by saying it out. That's why I just kept mute. Maybe people are doing it. You gave out your nah, guys, nah.
I was sick to my stomach. And the first thing that I felt was embarrassment, because like, why did I not look this up? And I think the reason why I didn't look it up is because the way he downplayed it, like, oh, I didn't play, I was like, backup of the backup. It just was like an afterthought to me. It's also why I didn't like bring it up to other people. There's a lot of people that didn't even know that he mentioned that he went to the Olympics, because I didn't really talk about it, because it was like I said, it was an afterthought. And so I was just deeply upset by this information, just to know that someone could lie about something like this. I was like, this is truly sick. When I received this message, I was at an open house, and luckily it was a vacant house and there was no one in this home. So I had my time to do some research, and I start looking through our WhatsApp messages and videos, trying to just reflect on all the things that he told me. And I see the photos that he sent me of his apartment in Copenhagen, the one that he had sold a year prior. And so I downloaded the photos, and then I reverse Google image searched them, and it pulled up an interior designer's home in Germany. And that just fully sent me completely, because obviously this is the house that he just purchased and sold and made that $500,000 in profit, and half of it went towards the tax bill and half of it went to his friend's plumbing business. And so I'm just like, this is so sick and disgusting. I can't believe someone would have the audacity to lie about this. So I go back home. He actually was at the gym, so I'm just home spiraling, waiting for him to get back. And he walks in, and the second he walks in, I immediately say, I need you to sit down, we need to have a talk. And he automatically looks kind of annoyed. He's like, what now? Because obviously we've been really going through it the past week with like finding out about his addiction. He's been going to GA meetings. I've been wanting to talk about his addiction all day, every day, because I want to get as much information as possible. And so he's just like, I'm drained, I'm tired. I'm like, sit down, we need to talk. So he sits down, and I say, did you go to the Olympics? And he goes, yes, I did. I go, no, I'm going to ask you one more time. Did you go to the Olympics? He goes, I went to the Olympics. So I say, okay, well, I'm going to give your mom a call, and I'm going to verify it with her. So I pull up my phone and I dial her number. It actually rings once. And he goes, okay, I didn't go to the Olympics. And I just remember just sitting there and just being like, who lies about something like that? And I told him, on top of that, you also lied about the apartment that you were living in. I was like, this is sick. And at this point, I'm spiraling, because I don't know what's real or what's fake. And so I tell him, listen, I saw the email from your lawyer about the business account, so I feel like I got the proof I needed for that, but I do need proof about the other 2 apartments in Copenhagen. He said, absolutely. And that's when he pulls up the lease agreements, and obviously the lease agreements are like all in Danish, but he's like translating it for me. There's like the name, there's the address, there's the amount they're paying, it's their lease term, all these things. And so I was like, okay, I felt like this was proof. And so at this point, I like don't know where we go from here. And like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like 100%, I was thinking about just picking up the phone, calling my family, and just being like, this is happening, I need to leave him. But I'm still so in love with this man. I can't picture a life without him. Despite everything that he's put me through, I just felt like I could not say goodbye to him. And I really just felt like disease is the enemy.
Guys, you need to also understand something. This was the first time this lady was falling in love. So the thing, it came with so much intense feeling. So it might be easy for someone to say, oh, if it were me, I would leave her. First time she's falling in love. And also be in mind that the guy has been pretending to treat her so well. So she's been getting so much love from him. Let that ring in your head before you start pointing fingers.
Not him. So we need to work as a team and fight it together and overcome this. And I felt like we were capable of anything at this point, you know, and especially like with the challenges that we had already gone through, I felt like we were invincible, like we could overcome anything. That's the mentality that I was going into it with. And so obviously I'm talking to him about my reservations. I was like, I don't know where we go from here. Like, and I did tell him that I didn't know like how to move forward. And that's when he just like starts crying, and he's just like, I love you so much. Like, whatever I can do to prove to you that I will be the man that you deserve, I will do it. And he was like, I am sick to my stomach about what I did to crypto and his wife. I saw him, and he was, you know, living such a great life. And in my mind, I thought like I could take some of his money and like make more money, and then I could give him this interest, and then we would have some money. And I was like, listen, this is all delusion. And at this point, I've done a lot of research on gambling addiction, and it's like it's all a delusion centered around this dream world where you're going to provide these cars and nice and luxuries to the people that you love when you get your big win, and it never happens. And so I just said, listen, you need to know.
And that's so true with gambling. They'll keep thinking that, oh, the next hit will be a big win. The next one. That's how I keep on next. And once in a while, the people that own all this gambling will just release something for one of them to make them feel, oh, like their own turn is coming. It never comes. It will never come. Even when it comes, that means you put more money and oh.
And I know you already know this, I don't need these things. I don't need the big house, the fancy cars. I don't need any of this. I don't. Like, I'm happy just being here in Dallas with you and just hanging out with Smokey on the couch watching movies. I don't need any of this. And I did feel so ill and disgusted, but I'm still so in love with him. Despite the lies, despite everything, the love was still 100% there. And so I communicated to him. I said, listen, things have got to change or you're gonna lose me. Plain and simple. And he said, I will do anything I can to keep you. And like, this is my first time seeing him cry, and as you guys can assume, I'm a very empathetic person. So at that time, I just went over to him and hugged him, and we both just like cried together for like an hour. And it felt like the breakthrough I had been waiting for our entire relationship, because I'd never seen this emotional side to him. And I felt like, okay, like, we've had this breakthrough, now we can move forward. And so we had already had a trip booked to Colombia because he only could be in the States for 90 days. So we're like, where can we go that's affordable and you can reset the 90 days without having to fly all the way back to Denmark? And so we went to Cartagena, Colombia, and it was a very affordable trip. And I know a lot of you are thinking like, how are you traveling? He was making a very steady income. And once I found out about the gambling, like his account was like stacking back up. I had told him like, we're going to reach out to crypto. We're going to set up a payment plan. And I had told crypto about the trip to Colombia that we had already booked, so that I didn't seem like we were being disrespectful towards him. I had a feeling that he had the ring for some time and that he was going to propose, and he knew that he could not propose to me with everything that was going on, and he needed to take time. And by the time we were going to Colombia, I felt like we were getting our lives back on track. We were obviously stacking up our money again, and I felt like he was being open and honest with me. He would talk to me about his addiction. He was going to GA meetings every single week, but I still did not feel comfortable accepting a proposal unless he made amends with crypto and crypto's wife.
I don't understand the proposal, guys. Did I miss something? I thought they were already married. What proposal again? He has already proposed to her. Oh, he said he was going to give her a proper proposal. It doesn't even make sense. They're already married. Am I missing something?
And so I told him the day before we went to Colombia, I said, we need to go and have a sit-down conversation with crypto and crypto's wife. And obviously I realize now that my ex should have been the one to suggest that we go make amends with crypto and crypto's wife. But regardless, we go there the day before we go to Colombia. We go to their house and we sit down in front of crypto and crypto's wife, and I will pick back up in part 16.
Why would you suggest it? You're forgetting the fact that you are the one that you're forcing him to face his fears. He's not even ready to face it. So there's no way he's going to be looking for ways to, make amends in his past life. Do you remember when he asked her to block all those other Danish people that were watching her stories? Because in his words, they're evil. Guys, see you in part 15. Get this part 15. We'll continue tomorrow. I need to rest my head. I've been filming. Like, this is the 15 videos I'm doing today. I need to rest my head. See you guys tomorrow.